People of the internet, you found your way back to the Meandering Mixtape Live, our series of interviewing artists here. We're back at Miller's, and we're on the stage today because we have an amazing artist that is playing the summer stage outside, another free show, part of the Carnation Concert Crawl here right in Carnation. We're sort of listening to another band across the street, and the artist I have today is going to take the stage right after that's done. And I am super excited and to welcome with us today, Blessing Chimanga. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Ryan. Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be in Carnation and at Miller's.
It is just my research and getting to know some of your previous work has been really exciting. And I wanted to start with the name of your band, which is Ukama, and give us the meaning of that, because that's a Shona word, your native tongue, because you are from Zimbabwe, which we'll talk about a little bit. But give us sort of the background and the meaning of that word and what it means to you, and just dive into it.
Okay, so Ukama is, the actual meaning is family, it's relationship. And Ukama band is my Northwest backup band. So when I come to the Northwest, this is the band that backs me. And I'm so privileged. It's made of a family, father, mother, and 2 boys. And then I also have 2 other guys from Zimbabwe that join me in that band to make Ukama band on tour with me. But literal meaning of it is family, relationship, and I think that is the message that we share in our music. That is the feeling that we want people to have when they come to our concerts, to the workshops. It's just to feel part of the family despite who they are, race, color, belief, religion. We are one.
Excellent. And it is a Shona word. Do you want to, while we've got everybody here on the internet, you want to teach anybody any additional words that they might hear tonight, and so that they can sing along and get into it?
Well, for sure today I'm going to sing a lot of Shona because that's my native language. I write a lot in my mother tongue, and over the years, because of touring, I've translated some of those things to English. Of course, I write English songs too, but really my heart kind of speaks Shona. It's so weird that someone asked me after a concert if I dream in Shona as well. But yeah, so one of the songs we'll sing today, that's the title track of my new album, is it's a song called Moriko. Moriko means you are there. And when I wrote that song, I was talking about how God is with me wherever I go and with the music that I do. So Moriko, and Moriko means you are there. And that's a simple and beautiful song that I know you can sing along with us and have a good time with us today.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate that little lesson, and I will be out there singing along for sure.
I'm going to be watching you.
I ask all the other artists that come through, because Carnation is a special place. I live here. I try and make this as local as possible. You have been touring around the U.S. quite a bit this year because of the album, the live album that came out. And you have been in Washington for a little bit now, traveling around. The summer stage that you're on, the outdoor stage at the lawn at Miller's here, that was built last year, and it's the 2nd season. As you approach today, what do you think? What do you think of our little outdoor stage here in Carnation?
It's actually beautiful, very, very beautiful. The space is right for our band. I've got the whole 10-piece on this trip with us. It's right. I got enough dancing space because I jump around a lot. But also, I just really want to say, what's a good stage without good people that work for it and around it? And so a really, really big shout out to Bill and the whole team, as well as Paul, who is an awesome sound engineer who we worked well with today. And that's all part of the package that you get on this stage. So I'm so excited. Yeah.
And Paul's here doing sound for us today. Thanks, Paul.
Yep, thanks, Paul.
When you prepare for a stage like that, because you play marimba, you're an award-winning marimba player, which is not a small instrument, and you've got 2 of them on stage here. How does a stage like that, how do you prepare the band and the layout, and does it kind of change your setup a little bit from a larger stage? I caught some of your TED stuff that you did, which is a very large stage.
Well, I'm a very, very flexible guy. I think I'm grateful that I've worked in the production and tech world. So I understand that it's not every time that you're going to arrive and you have the specs of the stage that you need. And even if tomorrow we wake up and we are I'm that kind of artist who can demand that, I still believe that one can still be flexible. So I'm flexible. My band is flexible. We can move around things to make it work. We have played on very small stages, by the way, where we have had to have my marimba here and the second marimba behind me and then the drum kit. So this is actually good space, and I think it's all about flexibility, because at the end of the day, it's about the delivery. It's about how people will receive the music and feel with what you do, and that's priority number one.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have done production. You have a couple DJ shows. You've DJ'd on the radio, and if you've not seen Blessing DJ, he's standing up, he's dancing, he has an amazing radio voice. I had to get up from my desk and start dancing around with him. I mean, it just was in there. You juggle a lot of things, and I know that it's my life, everybody's life. We have passions that we're chasing. How do you juggle that? Where's your passion, especially after the new album and now touring? Your advocacy you're now in Colorado, but you're back in Zimbabwe regularly. How do you juggle that passion and find that time?
I think, first of all, I'm just grateful to have the many gifts and talents to do all these things. And I think it's for me, number one, recognizing that I have these abilities and I love all of them. And so I try to create pockets of time for all those things, and all of it are in one way or another tied to each other. So when I'm on radio, I am advocating and speaking for African music and sharing African music that probably was not going to be shared because of not having an African DJ in the roster. So, and then I feel like I'm being an African ambassador with that. At the same time, I'm able to share events that are happening in the area and all that. So there's like a parcel for me that feels like I'm doing my part in pushing other people's work within the music industry that I'm in. And then, we talk about the album, which was a really, really a lot of work, because besides writing the music and arranging it and teaching the band, because I did it with the American band, so I had to teach them all the stuff, I also mixed it. After Effect, which was a 3 months just dedication of work on it only. And like I'm saying, I find pockets for this work. And now my head is on the touring and pushing the album and getting the name out there with that. And that's the season of that. And when the summer is over, the gig schedule kind of drops down a little bit, and then I get back into production or probably get back into teaching. So it's more... There's pockets and time and for these things, and I'm grateful that in the past 10 years I've been able to make it work. And
I want to talk about the album a little bit. It was recorded live in Boulder. How did you select that space? How did the set list come together? I guess there was some audience participation in that from what I read. I did try to look up the credits of who produced it and that sort of thing. You answered that question. So it sounds like a labor of love, but definitely from kind of your home base here in the U.S.
Right.
How did that come together?
Well, when I came on my tour here in the U.S. in 2024, I was introduced to this space called Roots Music Project, an amazing non-profit music venue in Boulder. And those guys welcomed me so well in the many things that I do, from production right up to, working with them as an artist. And so when I was thinking about the live album, because actually my album before this one is live in Zimbabwe. And I've just realized that A, I do better live than studio. C, I'm a very spontaneous artist. So live would give the right feel of who I am compared to studio, where I'll be like, oh my God, I need to redo that. And I spend more time compared with live, where it's like, this is what we took, we're gonna use this. So because the third album, the live project in Zimbabwe did well, I was like, this is who I am, and I need to find a place here. And it just worked out that that venue was, I felt like I'm doing it at home. You know, I redid the stage. We added more space to the stage compared to what it normally had. We brought in new lighting engineer and new lights. We filmed it too. We turned the place to what I wanted. And it was really because it was at home. Yeah. I had that privilege to do that. And then I had the band, the American band, you know, really in the vibe of playing with me now for a year. So I felt like we are now more prepared to record an album. But all the 7 of the 8 tracks on that album were absolutely new in that night. Yeah. And when I decided that we were doing that, I think we were like maybe around September when I decided that in January we were recording, and I wanted to tour with the new album in the summer. And so we just turned our rehearsals from the usual regular set list we had into now learning the new music. Yeah. And I play with guys that are also session musicians. They play with so many people. So there was also difficultiness in catching everyone in the same room at the same time. But then we found a good spot, which was horns on their own and the rhythm section. And we then had a 1-week lockdown into the week of the recording, where, you know, every day we were meeting for 4 to 6 hours to really put it together. So it was an effort of the whole band, and for me, I still maintained my writing process, which was I have to hear the melody. I have to hear it. If I don't hear it, I don't write any song on paper. I've never sat down to say, no, I'm writing a song, and, you know, have a paper and pen. I've never done that in my life. And so it was also difficult because everyone was waiting for the music and saying, we're getting there. And I'm like, I don't have the songs. I have to wait, you know, for the inspiration to come, for me, for God to speak to me and say, this is it. So when that happened, you know, we really made it to the recording. And then another thing I was looking for in that recording was the crowd participation, the sing-along, in the moment. I didn't want to have 8 rounds of horn section and 4 rounds of the bridge. I wanted to play the bridge until I don't want it anymore, which is an identity of my music. My music is not arranged. Yeah. You learn I call them puzzles, and then we actually create a new picture in every show. So what you're gonna hear today is different from what we played in Bellingham yesterday. Same song, but in a different way, because it's depended on the feeling of the day and how much energy we can give and we are receiving.
So the receiving of the energy has to be important for what you do. And I think that vibe of just kind of those rhythms, right? I mean, they flows both ways in your music. Yeah.
So that was a big, important part for me in the recording, so that I could receive from the audience how they're feeling and the message, what it's doing to them. And that would create that atmosphere we needed for that record. And I called it Light and Hope just because of really the feeling of the 2 critical things we need in the world today. Light and hope. Yeah. And that's how I got that name of the album, and I think that's the story of the album.
Yeah, perfect. I will ask one question. Just, there's a lot of artists who watch this, and kind of the process of deciding to, one, do a live album and do it that way is interesting. But then you said you mixed it. Did you send it out for mastering? Did you distribute it on your own? I didn't catch what label it was on, that sort of thing. My question really comes back to, I talked to a couple artists that are burned out doing studio work. They just aren't interested anymore. And so they want to do more live and trying to figure out, and it really, we're in this content-driven world, right? Where it's like, how quickly can we get stuff out? And what are your thoughts on sort of, after you've done this, taking more of the stage stuff, recording it and kicking it back out, and having mixed it and sort of the time involved in getting it distributed? What is it? Are you still in an album mode, or do you feel like you could, you know, get more content by just continuously doing live sets?
Yeah. You know what? I think it's artist to artist base. Other people will prefer studio because, like I said, they can repeat the line 20 times. But definitely in the world where we are moving, where turnaround is more important than how much tied to the note the quality was. Hear me, I'm not promoting lack of excellence.
Yeah.
I'm one person who is particular about excellence because our clients and the people that support us deserve an excellent album. So in whatever we do, even if we want a 24-hour turnaround or whatever, it still has to be excellent. So you need to have the knowledge of what will help you to have a tight and a short turnaround. For me, I learned production on my own during COVID. Was really the time when I went more into understanding Logic and Pro Tools and things like that. And the reason why I particularly mixed this album on my own, it was two things. Number one, I was specific about where I want the sound to be. Remember, I'm coming into a new country where this sound is foreign. So I didn't want to spend hours and hours with a mixing engineer, because it's expensive, because these guys also need to be paid for their work they're putting. So I wanted to wake up and be like, okay, I want to hear the second marimba on the left. I don't want to hear it on the right, and tweak that and sleep again. And tomorrow wake up and say, no, I want a deeper snare. I don't want a flat snare. So that was the major reason. But I felt I could do that because I spent 2 to 3 years really digging down on Logic, really digging down, on plugins and stuff like that and what they can do and all those stuff. So I felt like I have the ability to do that and on my time. Number two, specificness of identity of sound. The world can only follow your sound. So I was particular that I don't want to take it to a mixing engineer who will change the toning of my sound. There's a particular sound I'm going for and I want to keep that. But I had someone to master it because believe you me, after 6-7 weeks of listening day by day, you are done. You are done, So it was good to have a different set of ears that mastered it. And I was still part of the process of the mastering, but I was more of like, that's too compressed for me or whatever. But they did all the mastering work, and then I just approved or asked for less of this and that. And the person who mastered it was the engineer in the live night. So there was also still an understanding of who I am. So to really summarize your question, I would say I recommend go live, record as much live moments as you can because the turnaround is going to be faster, but also know that there's a lot of details in live recording. You want to have the right mics. You want to have the right mic positioning. You want to make sure that your gain structure is right because all those things are going to determine your final product that you're going to mix. So I would say, fellow artists, invest in knowledge so that when it's time to have the product from what you have played, you know what you're doing. But there's more than just setting up mics and playing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think something you said there is really important. Work with people who know your material and have been to your shows and understand the energy and where the artist wants the energy to be in the recording. It's so important. And that's something I try to do when I work with artists is I go to their shows and I say, well, what did you think?
Yeah.
What did you think of your own show? And well, this could have been this and that could have been that. I'm like, I can fix that. We can fix that. Yeah. But on your next show, do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so having that back and forth is really important.
That's actually a good point because for me, one of the things I've seen is playing marimba, fronting with marimba is unique. And you find my fellow engineers maybe putting that marimba very low in the mix and making it part of the mix. And then I have to go and say, this is the main instrument, actually. This is what needs to be on top of everything and build everything around it. So I agree that then having that knowledge and then having people that know your sound will be very, very helpful in the identity of your sound.
Yeah. And I want to ask about the marimba.
Yeah.
Because this is an instrument for those that are checking Wiki as fast as they can right now. It's, like I said, it's not a small instrument, but it's got a very bright sound. It's very cheery. I think it lends itself to sort of the high energy vibe that you bring, but it's also a very earthly instrument. It's a wooden instrument. People have made their own marimbas over time from either wood or rocks or, and so it's got this very grounded to the earth sort of connection to it. How did you gravitate towards, and what brought you to marimba as being front and center in what you do?
Well, first and foremost, let me say there's so many different types of marimba. We have also what is still called a marimba that's part of an orchestra. So the marimba that I'm playing is a typical Zimbabwean marimba, which is one of our cultural instruments in Zimbabwe. So that's how I was gravitated to it. At the high school that I went to, I was doing music as a subject, and we were supposed to choose one Western instrument and one African instrument. So I grew up as a drummer. Drums are my first instrument. So I took drums because I already was a drummer in church, and then I was still asked to take an African instrument between the mbira, which is a thumb piano, or marimba. And I took marimba because it had similar notes to the piano, and I was already playing some piano. So that's how I went to marimba. But this typical Zimbabwean one, it's made from different types of woods depending on where you are. Zimbabwe has its own type of wood that it uses in the US. The marimbas that are made here have a particular tree and wood that is used, but also the tuning is very amazing. You have to take out wood behind the actual key to tune it. If you take out wood on the ends, you're making it flat. If you take out wood in the middle, you're making it sharp. So this one has also resonators, which give the buzzing sound. The resonators are made out of plastic, and that gives the buzzing sound that kind of brings that ethnic feeling to it. But yeah, I agree, it's a very high energy instrument. You can do anything with this instrument. I played in a blues band before in Italy for a long time, using marimba and soloing as part of the band. So you can definitely use it in different genres. What made me bring it in front was I wanted to bring an identity of my country and an identity of African music, and I can be a rhythm musician in the band. At the same time, I can solo. I start most of the songs. So it just made sense. And again, it brought uniqueness and a new identity.
Yeah. And anything that people coming to the show should know about the instrument or the two marimbas you brought today? Where are from? Are they have any history behind them?
Well, besides the two instruments are actually owned by the family band I was talking about. They have a special connection with them. The one that I'm playing is a very, very special instrument to the family. They were gifted that instrument, and it means a lot to them. So we're playing a soprano and a tenor, and there's a lot of harmony work that's happening in between. The second marimba, Jody, is really like what you would have in a band as the rhythm guitar. So staying on one line, just tightening us there, and then I'm kind of free to go all over the place. And it's unique because you don't find so many electric bands that have actually two instruments.
Yeah, for sure.
Two marimbas.
Your album, Light and Hope, such an excellent name for, I think, the world has changed so much in the past few years, and we all need a little light and hope, and your advocacy and the teachings and things that you do. What's next as this tour winds down? Where again we talked about your passions. What are you looking forward to spending some more time in?
Very good question. Well, I think on top of my head, we're still pushing the album, so I don't really feel like we have come to the end of that particular part. Of course, we still have 3 more shows on this Northwest tour, and then as summer goes down, we're gonna take a little break during the fall, but we also have another big tour that comes out called the Gratitude Tour, because I'm big on gratitude. Yeah. And that's music from this same album, but we also mix it with the old stuff and just create a show around gratitude. We're still working out the tour structure for that. But I think for me, I come into my season of teaching. I teach a lot back in Boulder. I'm starting to be more hands-on with my YouTube channel. I want to put up, we've been having a lot of content this summer. I mean, I've played over 35 shows from May up to now. And so I want to release some of the things that we've been recording in the live, in the shows, because we've had some beautiful audience moments and things like that. So I'm excited about that coming into the fall and winter. And, I'm starting to feel like I might just do another album next year, because we don't know how much time we have on this earth. Let's keep going. So yeah, that's where my energy is towards, just keeping on pushing light and hope and seeing what's coming.
Excellent. I think, unless you want to tell the internet anything more, upcoming shows or anything else, I think we can wrap it there.
Well, again, a big thank you to places like Miller's and Carnation as a city for opening up your space and giving me an opportunity like this. I don't take it for granted. And to everybody that's watching this podcast, thank you for supporting a fellow musician, a fellow content creator, a fellow producer in what he's doing. And we can only keep on supporting each other to become better. And again, through the tough and the good days, keep on shining. There's something special in you that the world is waiting for. You got it. Keep going.
Excellent message. I think that'll do it for this episode of the Meandering Mixtape Live. Again, we're here at Miller's Live, and Blessing's about to take the stage here in just a bit. We've got Carnation Farm Smash Burger, so come get some of that, as well as vendors, because it is the Carnation Concert Crawl. So thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you very much for sitting down with me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I appreciate you, man.
And we will see you real soon, and we'll see the internet real soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.